Indiana, these are the last two games they play basketball-wise before it gets real. North Carolina, you go on the road to play at Rutgers, which is going to be a very hostile environment because that is becoming until Indiana starts beating them like they used to beat them, it's becoming a little bit of a rivalry. Geo Baker, when we get closer to that game, I'm going to replay his comments. No one fears Indiana. Then you have, of course, the Kansas. They played two Big Ten games. I played Nebraska.
They played two Big Ten games. I think they played Rutgers and Nebraska. So somehow Indiana always plays Rutgers and Nebraska in December. And then after that, they get then it's Arizona, and then it's Kansas.
Arizona, then Kansas.
So,
and then, back. So they've got a tough stretch coming up. And they need to get all of the bad shooting out of their system that they can right now. Talk to Don about it. It's been weird. There's each game. Trace Jackson Davis has been solid. He's the centerpiece. But there's been different guys that have just shot really poorly. There's a difference between not having a great night and having a really bad night. And there's been multiple guys in both games to me that's had bad games. They need to get that leveled out.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to become a consistent shooter. I mean, Miller Kopp's okay. I mean, like I know he hasn't been overall productive. But he hit a couple threes last night, and you're starting to see him sort of find his level as far as just a guy who's going to be, sit in the corner and wait for it. The other guards are just, okay as far as making outside shots. I think you were certainly expecting Jalen Hood-Schifino to be making a few more of those at this point. But he had a good looking one last night, and I thought he had a good looking mid-range jumper. It's just I think just generally the perimeter game is kind of all over the place right now. I mean, I think right now I was thinking of this. Okay, who's Indiana's second best player? It's probably Malik Reneau. I mean, it's probably Malik Reneau right now. I think he's been the most consistent guy. He's shooting 66% from the field so far, and he gets the ball in the low block. You can't stop him. Everybody else. I mean, they're getting a handful of outside shots, and it's just none of the guards have been consistent night after night. And they're the positive thing. And I heard you talking to Don about this is that because they have depth, somebody's going to get right. Somebody's usually going to have at least a decent night and give you some level of perimeter production. But they don't have a reliable guard yet that when the game starts who it's going to be, whether it's between X and Jalen Hood-Schifino, and then after that who is it going to be Tamara? Is it going to be Trey? Is it going to be Miller? Is it going to be somebody else? CJ Gunn, I thought obviously was pretty impressive. Has been pretty decent when he's got opportunities. But there's just not again a ton of consistency, and I don't think you're getting the production in the last couple of games from Race Thompson and Jordan Geronimo than you thought you were going to. I mean, Jordan Geronimo is giving you block shots and rebounds and stuff like that, but you're not getting a ton of scoring out of those guys. And I think you do need those guys to hit some shots. I think Race is 1 of 10 from 3, where we thought, in the exhibition games, it looked like Race was finding a rhythm and was actually going to be able to make a couple. I mean, you're just going to want to see some more consistency, and some guys just step up as a guy that you can trust every night before you get into these games. I mean, obviously you can win, and they have a big win over Xavier already, and that's important. That's going to matter. That's going to pay dividends down the road. That beating Xavier on the road matters in March for sure.
Here's some numbers that really put it in perspective. This says, according to ESPN, Indiana is shooting 55% from the field overall as a team. So that's a lot better than
what they're scoring at the rim is a big deal. Like they are, but Trace Jackson Davis is shooting 75.6%. That's wild. Yep. Obviously
that's mind-boggling.
All that is within a couple feet of the bucket, but that's wild. That's a lot of attempts too.
They have 3 guys that average. Malik Reneau is only averaging 17 and a half minutes, but Trace Jackson Davis, Malik, and Xavier all. Wait a minute, I don't want to leave out. Well, Jordan Geronimo, he's not playing that much. I hate to throw him in this group, but
it's also it's attempts. Jackson Davis on 45 attempts to 75.6%.
Yeah, and Malik is 66.
66.
Xavier 63. It's nuts. I mean,
they're getting layups. I mean, and that's what it comes down to is they're getting
Miller Kopp. Another thing I saw from him last night that he needs to do more of. I saw him scoring the ball from someplace besides behind the 3-point line. He looked to get a shot inside, which I think he needs to do that because he can't just stand out there every time and wait.
Right. I mean, every once in a while he's got to attack a closeout, but ultimately you're not turning Miller Kopp into Xavier Johnson. Like he's not going to be that guy. He's not going to be Trey Galloway either or something.
Oh, no.
A wing driver. No. But every once in a while when somebody comes after him hard on a closeout, he's got to be able to attack it. And he did. You know, I think that's what happened on that one. I'm trying to remember exactly how he got going to the rim. But yeah, I mean, he's got to do that a little more often. He's got to be at least a little bit of a threat. You know, he's not crossing anybody up. Is the thing. Like Miller is a, very
he almost now there was built. Did you see one? He did break somebody's ankles the other night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, you should have taken advantage of that. You just got to take that shot.
Yeah,
he ended up making the pass instead. I'm like, you got to do it. What's up next for you, man? I know the Pacers have a home game tonight.
Pacers tonight, yeah. So we're at home. We're at home, and I get to be in Indianapolis and stay at my house for the next week. Although we're gonna go up to wife and I are gonna go up to South Bend for Thanksgiving, but then Saturday I hit the road out west, and I'll be there for like 10 days. So they go Lakers, Kings,
going to LA,
Jazz, Blazers, Golden State. That's gonna beat the crap out of me. Does
Bob Kravitz travel as well?
No, not that I can tell. No, I mean he's covering everything. He's got Colts and Pacers and IU and Purdue and whatever else. Basically, he has to carry everything else that happens in the state of Indiana and still be part of the Colts beat over there. So Bob is putting work.
Don't make it sound like he's working hard. Come on, man.
I got to give him credit, man. I got to give him credit. They used to have me and Scotty on that deal, and he's got to do both of our jobs. And
I got to deal with him on Wednesday. Don't make his head bigger than it is. No, I'm just kidding. We love Bob. Does a great job, and we love Dustin Dopirak as well. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter and read his stuff at the Indy Star. Be a subscriber. I am. Keep Papers alive, baby.